And we're live. Almost died.
Lord.
Come
on.
Almost died.
Come on now. We doing that shit. Nah, yeah. That's not how we wanna.
No bullshit. And it was live too, so I couldn't have played it off. And niggas was like, "Oh my god!" We would have stopped it, but that's all that would have happened. They would have seen the fucking beginning, the death.
Lord.
We had to stop doing this show. We had to cancel the show. Almost died.
Damn. Why? No. Just need to do a better job of like. No, we ain't dying, yeah.
Damn.
That shit was crazy though.
It really was. I was scared. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh shit, wait a minute.
Yeah, it wasn't nothing I could do. It's a 200-some pound nigga about to fall. I hope he'll be alright. That's all I could think.
I be thinking about this table too. Like, if I fall and it's an all glass table, like Jesus.
Yeah, see.
That ain't what's good in the hood.
See, I don't want you really thinking about that kind of shit, you know?
That's a good point.
Because you bring that kind of energy into the universe.
Yeah, keep all that shit out.
Yeah, nah. None of that. Hey, what's up, cuz?
Kick back,
I love my cousin, yeah. That nigga jump on like as soon as the show started. He like
every week.
Yup, I'm in there. I love that. That's
Every
great.
week.
Alright, let's do it.
All right, man. We like y'all seen the headlines, so y'all know what the show about today. We got some shit. We got some shit for you.
Jam.
But I've been listening to all kind of music. We're gonna talk about Chainz and Solange. We're gonna talk about the baby. Motherfucking T-Pain. We got some shit to talk about. This gonna be a good show. The lighting is good. I got on my favorite sweater in the world.
Yeah.
We're gonna have some fun tonight.
That's what's up. Well, let's get it cracking.
Alright, honestly, we should have shit everywhere. What up, Meek? Meek told that Meek couldn't be here today, but I see she tuned in.
She's here in spirit.
She inspired. Your spirit here. How do I do this? Bam, like this. And then go ahead and share it to the show page. Boom, boom, boom. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or watching on YouTube, we in this junction, just getting the show started.
Yeah, man, it's a Kickback TV, live from Atlanta. Yo, it was raining all day today, young.
Yeah.
It was messed up, like, by everything. Like,
Nigga, I was asleep most of the damn day. Then I finally got up. Finally got up. I had to call Aunt Joyce, because it's Aunt Joyce's 80th birthday. For those who don't know, everybody know me.
happy birthday, Auntie. Happy birthday. Yeah.
Aunt Joyce, this will sound crazy, but Aunt Joyce is my mother. Aunt Joyce is my mama. Aunt Joyce is the one that raised me after my mother, Stephanie Ann Dawson, rest in peace, Mom. After she passed away when I was 11, Aunt Joyce raised me from 11 to almost 43 now. So Aunt Joyce has been my mother for the bulk of my life. And today is her 80th birthday. Called her. She gonna have crab cakes and ribs. She can't eat none of that shit. She only supposed to eat like, when you're 80, the healthiest of shit. But she gonna splurge today for her birthday.
That's what's up.
And crab cakes. We from the DMV. Maryland is the home of crab cakes. Crab period. Some people try to say New Orleans is good seafood. Yeah, you're okay. You're not Maryland. You're not Boston.
No. That's what's up. That's what's up. And shout out to my mom and dad. Happy birthday, Pops. His birthday was last Wednesday.
Okay,
so
happy birthday.
Yeah. I called him. I was like, hey, happy birthday, Pops. He's like, yeah, thanks, son, but we about to get on this plane and head on back because we coming back from Jamaica. I was like, oh, shit.
Hey!
I was like, oh, shit. They went to Jamaica for his birthday, so they still out there doing it, yeah.
One of y'all women watching this show better give me some tickets to Jamaica for my birthday.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
Shit.
Mom, yeah.
Damn, next month.
Mom took him to Jamaica for his birthday, so
That's what I need that in my life.
I ain't mad. I ain't mad at all. They out there doing it. So happy birthday. Happy Sunday, everybody. Yeah, let's get it cracking.
All right, man. Kickback TV live from Atlanta. We'll go ahead and introduce the show. Welcome to Kickback TV live from Atlanta, also known as the Black CNN. And the revolution will be televised. I'm New the Mayor, the Righteous Ratchet. If you throw it, I catch it. If you got it, I match it. Every Monday on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. We right back at it. Shall live fantastic.
What's up, y'all? It's JB Frank. I'm that gangster geek representing NWA. Nerds with attitude. Happy Sunday, everybody. Man, dude, it's a lot to talk about today, bro.
It is, man. It is. And we're going to go all the way in. And I'm going to do Meek's voice. So from time to time, I'm like, and that's me being Meek. That's it. Squad came in the house.
Oh,
what up?
Hey.
Hey.
Jeremy Cole just walked in.
Yes.
Hey.
My man.
Receiver catch.
Hey, I'm DK Metcalf. I'm DK Metcalf. In the combat.
My draft. Man, it's dangerous.
No, you know I can't get up.
Oh, man.
So let's go ahead and get started with the show. Thank you for tuning in. If you're on your page, hit share button on Facebook. And if you're on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, we're getting started now. So our hot story of the day, the first story of the day, is JB's childhood best friend.
No, that is a goddamn lie.
Yeah, you know Cohen.
We graduated from the same high school, but he graduated about 5 or 6 years before I did.
Like I said, JB high school friend.
No, that is not.
They used to go to these parties. What happens at Georgetown?
Yeah, I heard about those parties, but I didn't go to any of them. I was like, oh Lord. Anyway, yeah, that is a motto at Prime. They actually still say that. But anyway, keep going.
It'd be me.
Hey, JB, you probably didn't do that. The problem is you, JB. You shut up. You just sugarfoot.
That was me. I'm just fucking with it because she watching the show.
By the way, Meek's voice is deep as shit.
It really is.
She don't sound nothing like that.
She's like, yeah, JB, yeah. But anyway, so see, I get to tease her how I choose to, and that's how I choose to. But back to JB's high school buddy, was it Michael Cohen?
You just keep saying that shit, don't you?
I'm just saying, y'all high school young. So he met me before Congress.
Actually, it wasn't Michael Cohen who I went to. It was John Kavanaugh, the Supreme Court judge. So this motherfucker, I have no affiliation.
Oh shit, it was
at all.
Okay.
I was like, something don't feel right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Well, that's right. You had murdered into his family. I knew it was something. So Michael Cohen got before Congress. What? I'm just saying. You went before Congress.
You trying to get me shot out in these streets, you know? We live in a Democratic part of this state.
So Michael Cohen met before Congress and gave up a lot of shit on Trump. I mean, you got to take it with a grain of salt because we know that he's a liar. But watching how the Republicans try to defend Trump and we'll get into some of the dumb shit they did. But before we get into what they did and what we think about the entire thing, JB, what were your thoughts about what Cohen actually said?
Well, he basically he substantiated a lot of myths that are, well, I can't really call them myths anymore, but rumors that were being circulated about the president. He talked about the fact that he had paid hush money to Star Daniels, the porn star. Stormy Daniels. Sorry, not Star.
Keep your dick sucker straight, JB.
Whatever. yeah, you're right. Anyway, Stormy Daniels, you know, the porn star, how he paid that money out and he had a copy of the check, or, you know, that was a little squirrely, but at the same time, you're dealing with somebody who was directly involved with the president, but he kept all of his records 2 or 3 steps down. So he had what would be considered substantial proof, but at the same time, he did have proof. And the fact remains that The only way they're going to get down to brass tacks is if they violate one of the more sacrosanct, unofficial laws in the American judicial system, and that is what they call client privilege. Well, it's actually client privilege, and the only time that it is superseded is when you see a doctor and that doctor treats you for a gunshot wound in the emergency room. That is the only time a medical professional, a legal professional is allowed to report anything that you talk to them about outside of who is in that room at that time.
That's interesting. That's the one example. Okay.
Well, I mean, technically it's 3 because it's mental. Well, now, even with mental professionals now, there is a clause there too, because if you talk about having murdered somebody, then technically they
can speak out on that.
Yeah, they are legally allowed to report that to the authorities. The only way that they can get really, really hard, fast proof is if he starts showing them documents that are under client legal privilege, client attorney privilege. You're right. So the Democrats asked him straight up, like, can you show us that shit? And he was like, sometimes yes, sometimes no. The times when it is yes is when I have already been subpoenaed for those documents by in the Southern District in New York, because he's also under investigation by the Southern District in New York for some of the crazy shit that he has done. That is going to be a much more incisive probe because he won't have the president shielding for him and blocking for him.
See, he ain't shielding now. Trump him like, wait a minute, hold up, back up off me. One thing I did, and with good reason for Trump, because he's pretty much turned on Trump.
Mm-hmm.
He actually quoted Trump as saying that you can't name a country run by a black person that's not a shithole, and he said that at the time Barack Obama was president. So he I guess implicated Barack in that, and we all know about the shithole comments in Africa from before. He spoke about driving through a Chicago neighborhood where Donald Trump said, only black people could live here. Like, this is shit that only black people could do. Which is probably true. We probably are the toughest motherfuckers, the only ones capable of it. But he didn't mean it in a complimentary fashion. And I guess my question to you, JB, is: do you believe that Trump really said those things? Can we believe Cohen? What do you think about that?
That's a really good question, New. The simplest answer is that where and when he is providing hard facts, or the willingness to provide hard facts, is where I'm focused on listening to him. All of the rumors, all of the bullshit is not really material or substantial towards the goal that needs to be achieved right now, which is legal action against the president for his nefarious behavior. So for me, he is a witness. I know he's got some shit on his mind and on his chest that he needs to get off. What the fuck ever. The main reason why he's there is he is there to present facts to Congress so that we can impeach this motherfucker. And that's what we need to focus on. But in the process of doing that, we need to let the nigga talk his shit, because that's what all disgruntled witnesses do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree, and we need to kind of take a look at kind of what they're doing as far as the questioning of the Republicans. And I didn't want to go all out of order because we got a lot to talk about, including the Jordan Woods situation, 2 Chainz and Solange. But I do want to go here really quickly, which is out of order, JB. But in looking at the Meadows, Representative Meadows did, by bringing a black woman up and saying basically Trump can't be racist because he hired her, which is the equivalent of, see, I have a black friend, and I'm just like, come on now.
White people, they still doing that? Like, that? You really think that shit still works? Like, don't you know that the moment you do that, you might as well tattoo in red on your forehead, I am the biggest racist out there, because this is the only motherfucker I let into my circle. Like, that, what the Wow.
It's mind blowing that they brought her up and paraded her. Like, oh, so you say Trump was a racist? Well, I had this Negro lady here, and she says she worked for him for years, and her father's from Alabama. So she wouldn't work for him. And I'm like, what the fuck her father being from Alabama got to do anything? But he said it was such, her father's from Alabama. So she wouldn't rock with Trump if he was racist. No, man, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
That meant nothing to me. It almost cemented the fact that Trump is a racist, or at least that congressman is a racist, by virtue of just bringing her up.
Yeah, I mean, it is how it further demonstrates how the Republican Party is disconnected from reality at this point.
Yeah.
You look at how Republican congressmen repeatedly kept jumping up and being like, oh my God, this is an incredible waste of time, and why are we here talking about this? And I'm like, dude, like, we talking about this man putting up shell corporations and being a party to meetings where the president knew about them fucking with our election. We talking about him paying slush money to organizations whose sole purpose was to disrupt certain elections in certain states. That is what he admitted to. That is why he was there. So this is all that. Look at the monkey. Look at the silly monkey. The Republicans are trying that shit again. And we're going to talk about it more in my Gangsta Geekin section, but they are appealing to a crowd who is ready to hear that kind of bullshit that's going on right now. That's what it is. And that's why I'm so scared. But we got folk in Congress who are trying to hold it down, trying to
Yeah, my fiance, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, she's definitely been holding it down. We're going to get into that a little later.
Yes,
But
yes.
she's definitely, she brought the heat.
Well, yeah, and by the way, we're also giving Rep Meadows our Donald Trump Shut Up Stupid Award. Since you brought him up, we might as well bring that up.
Yeah, so let's give it to him.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Representative Meadows, you, my friend, you get the Donald Trump Shut Up Stupid Award.
Black friend, really?
With my bad Spanish accent. Boom.
Shut up, stupid.
Shut the fuck up. Callate, pendejo. Yeah, Jeremy ain't know I know a little bit Spanish over there. Yeah, I know some Ethiopian too. Adamanesh. Yeah, just so y'all know. But since we're here with the awards, before we get into Jordan Bird, let's go ahead and give Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez the Grind and Shine Award for her line of questioning to Cohen, which would lead to us, in my opinion, opening up an investigation against Trump.
Yeah.
Her argument was thorough, thought out. She laid out the plan, walked the American public through it, and at the end had us all at the conclusion that we should be investigating Trump. Like, she bad, mentally. Like, she is bad. Like, she walked the American public and the Congress and Cohen down a clear path that ended with 100% we should investigate Trump. Beautiful, masterful. It was like a Jay-Z rap to a Dr. Dre beat that had goddamn Nate Dogg on the hook. That's what it was like, Jeremy.
Well, and she did exactly what needed to happen. We got closed doors sections where they couldn't do all of that bombassery and bullshit to try and delude the American public and really start disclosing some hard evidence that can be used for impeachment. After the bullshit that we saw on day 1, we got to remember, there was also day 2, 3, and 4 that happened after that, where these were closed sessions where basically in earlier things he alluded to, okay, I've got some documents, but we can't do this shit in this in this circus. I think she was a big contributing factor to making sure they really got down to what really needs to happen. We're on the road to impeachment, but we have to keep pressure on Congress through letters and through reacting to what's going on in social media.
Yeah, and shout out to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. You get our Andre Ingram Grind and Shine Award. Gas. Now we can get into the debauchery. And this is a girl that Jeremy met when he was like 12. Jordan Woods.
More like 13.
Jordan Woods, who's been accused of dating or cheating with Tristan Thompson while he was with Khloe Kardashian.
Yes.
And she's been raked through the mud, home wrecker, died, everything. She's been kicked out of Kylie Jenner's house. She's Kylie Jenner's best friend. And she went on Red Table Talk with Jada Pinkett to have a discussion about what her side of the story, I guess. And Will Smith called in, because he's on set of Bad Boy 2. He talked about how much he loved her. Like his niece, her father, worked on the set of Fresh Prince. So she's family. And Jada talked about her family, the Smiths, of course, the Jenners, Kardashians, and I guess in her family, the Woods, all going through this publicly, and how everything's been kind of twisted upside down and made her look like a whole person. They tried to clean her image up a little bit. She admitted to receiving a kiss on the lips from him as she left, and she admitted to being on a chair where he was sitting down, she was on the arm of the chair, but her legs laid across the bottom of his legs, and someone could see that and maybe think that, because they said she gave him a lap dance, maybe misconstrue that as a lap dance. I'm like, I don't know if you can misconstrue sitting down. I don't know. It was still too close. If Chloe's your girl, you're not sitting that close to that nigga.
It's just that simple.
Her nigga.
Yeah, they messed around. Whatever. I don't know. I don't really have. This type of shit happens. The interesting thing is though that now it's kind of shaking things up in the Kardashian camp. This one coming out, right? Because this is the first time that they don't look. They're not gonna walk away.
They never do.
But they never do. But they always seem to. I don't know.
Find a way to spin it. And I tell you one way they tried to spin it by making her the home wrecker. With the Smith stepping in.
Right.
Will Smith was a big dude. He kind of him and Jada kind of got some pull. And they're like, you're not going to just trash our youngin'. But at the same time, the Smiths and the Kardashians are close, which I never knew. What's the little boy name? Jaden grew up with Kylie Jenner, and he introduced Kylie to Jordan, and they became best friends. And Jordan, of course, allegedly cheated with Tristan Thompson, which is Kylie's sister's boyfriend and baby father. Remember, I almost confused myself.
That's a lot.
It's a whole fucking hell of a lot. So the Smith family is very much involved with that Kardashian tribe, kinda, which is weird, but I understand what they're saying. So it's a lot, man. I want to believe her because she's a black girl, like I do. I kind of don't.
Right.
Maybe she didn't fuck him, but something happened. She says he kissed her for randomly at the end of the night.
I think something happened, but maybe something inappropriate happened, and that's the long and short of it.
I think the whole thing is inappropriate. And Khloe tried to call the girl, but Tristan has cheated multiple times.
Right.
And Khloe called Jordan a home wrecker, and she was kind of like, "How am I a home wrecker?" Like pretty much like, "This nigga been doing this shit forever." And then Khloe came back and was like, "No, I'm gonna put the blame where the blame belongs on my nigga." You know what I'm saying? He the one that cheated multiple times. It's on him, not on her.
Right.
I understand the feeling of being mad at the other person. I guess the girl in this scenario. I understand that, but to put it solely on them is disingenuous and an emotional response and not a factual one. But that happened.
Yeah. Whatever. These things happen at Hollywood.
Speaking of Hollywood.
Yeah. Here's another crazy one.
Hollywood Jeremy.
Your boy,
my boy. That's Jeremy boy.
Yeah. New went to high school with this nigga, Billy Porter. They used to go to dances together, little parties and shit.
Really? How do we dress?
Well, that's what we about to get into. You was always cool. But, anyway, so this man wore a dress.
A ballroom gown, bottom with a tuxedo top. And I don't want to make this about Billy Porter because to me it's really not. When I saw the initial picture, I was like, hey, gotta go. Whatever. Keep scrolling. And then somebody else posted, I'm like, all right, keep scrolling. Then another girl posted it, another girl posted it, and all that, yes, and yeah, girl slay. I'm like, first she's a man, but whatever. And I kept seeing that, and I was like, what the fuck? Wait a minute. Oh, y'all like this shit. Wait, hold on, time out. You women like men in dresses? And I had to stop and be like, what are y'all, like, what's going on?
Right.
And a couple women were like, yeah. But what I found out, and I gotta keep it real with my sisters, because I was tearing them a brand new ass on Facebook. And I realized way more women didn't like that shit than actually did. Because when I kept seeing the posts, it felt like women were championing this and all women, black women loved it and blah, blah, blah. And then I was like, oh, it's just the feminists that like this shit. It's just the black feminists. Like the average everyday black woman was like, what the fuck?
What was the reason why though they liked it?
They didn't have a reason why they liked it. They could only say that we shouldn't dislike it. They couldn't articulate why they do.
That's not enough of a good reason though.
Exactly. You know what they said to me? Jeremy, I'm glad you brought it up because it's almost forgot. They said, oh, you're worried about it too much. It's so much going on in the world while you're worried. I'm like, bitch, we talk about Bird Box Challenge. We talk about everything.
If I'm worried about it too much, then why are you supporting it so much? It's
Right, exactly. It's like, we talk about a lot of things that aren't life-ending. We talk about Erica Badu's butt. Nobody's worried about the size of her butt for real. But it's something to talk about. We talk about the Bird Box Challenge for like 2-3 weeks. Nobody's life was dependent on that movie.
And it's
So
okay.
we talk about it because we talk about shit.
And it's okay to not like some shit and just keep it moving. Like, this doesn't change anything that you gonna do. It's just, you ain't like that shit, and I ain't like that shit either.
And you can say it.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
That's my thing. They were acting like if you said you didn't like that, then all of a sudden, and they only do that when it comes to gay black men. If I sit here and say I don't like the NBA right now, anybody be like, well, just don't watch it then. They only do that when it comes to gay black men. All of a sudden, oh, you care too much. Why do you? It's like, whoa. But I will say this: I am not a fan of men wearing dresses. I don't like it when Martin does it on Martin or Big Mama House. I don't like when Murphy do it in the clubs. It was funny as shit on the club, but I don't necessarily like that. And I don't like that whatever that movie was. They had Bing Rames dressed as a woman. I ain't watched that shit. I don't like that. I don't think men should wear dresses. And for you women out there, that black feminists that were saying like, well, look at African garb. No, bitch. That is not motherfucking African garb. A ballroom gown is not the same as African garb. And we will not do that today. I will not allow you to do that. You will not say wearing a dashiki or some other form of African garb or apparel is the equivalent to a man wearing a ballroom gown.
It's a whole different.
We're not doing that.
It's a whole different.
Yeah.
It's different than a kilt because a kilt is made for a man. A ballroom gown is made for a woman.
Yes.
And that
It's
is
a difference.
That is the entire point. Like, this is a man. I mean, it was even weirder because he wasn't even dressing in drag. Like, it was, this wasn't some Bugs Bunny shit. This was just some other shit. Can we talk about something else? Like,
Let's go through the Oscars because you know what's happened? His dress, his ballroom gown took over the story. We didn't get to talk about how Black Panther won 3 Oscars.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let me get this out of the way. I don't even fuck with the Oscars. I didn't watch the Oscars. I only know about the gown because Facebook just kept posting it.
Right.
But I don't support the Oscars so white, even when they try to get a little black. We gonna get y'all about that bullshit I did with movie of the year. We gonna talk about that. But let's rewind. Black Panther won 3 Oscars. Best set design, best costume, and something else. They won 3. I don't remember the third.
Some, but
Yeah,
to
some.
me it was like all bullshit. Like
The ancillary awards.
all that shit was like,
I mean, you called
like,
that
really?
shit.
Come
You
on,
called
dog.
that shit last week, though.
Yeah, I said it last week.
That type of shit. They made too much bread for Hollywood not to give him a nod. but it was a bullshit nod. You know,
Thank you. Thank you for
Facts.
saying that. Thank you for
Facts.
saying that.
Because it should have won. I would put it in movie of the year category. That or Black Klansman. And let's get into before we get to the movie that won. Let's since you brought up Black Klansman, let's give Spike his shout. I don't think we should be winning Oscars. I personally feel like fuck the Oscars. But I can imagine, even in my militant stance, if I was still rapping and won a Grammy, or one of my movies I do in 2020 wins Oscar, I would be happy that it won. Spike Lee won for Best Screenplay for Black Klansman. He was ecstatic, to say the least. Jumped into Sam Jackson's arms. So I want to say congratulations to him because I know it meant so much. And I know what it means in the grander scheme of things as far as acceptance in Hollywood, but I am anti-acceptance. So I'm kind of like, fuck Hollywood, fuck the Oscars. But if I take my pro-black self out of it and go, he won an award that he really wanted. Good for you, Spike. That award meant a lot to you. You really wanted it. And good for fucking you. I applaud it. It ain't my thing, but, you know, I applaud it because I know what it means.
To him.
Yeah.
I got you.
And for a black person to win it.
Yes.
Which is why I don't like them. Because I don't think it should mean shit for a black person to win it. But I know what it does mean.
well, and part of it, there's a little bit of a dichotomy here, because black films, and this is why I respected Spike so much throughout his career, because he has rarely tried to cross over. Very, very rarely. He has made black films for black people. But he has also had damn near a 40-year career in film. You know, if we go all the way back to like She's Gotta Have It and shit, that was the early to mid 80s.
I was single digits. Yeah, I was single digits. I was 8 or 9, 7 or something.
Yeah, so we're talking about like a 30-plus year career as a director, actor, you know, and for him to finally be recognized despite films that have changed our culture, you know what I'm saying?
It took too long.
Yeah, you know.
They gave him that honorary Oscar. Remember they did the honorary Oscar? They went back and ranked all these black movies and gave them Oscars retroactively. And I was like, really? Really? You're going to go back and... So he got one of those, which we know doesn't mean a whole lot. But go ahead, Jimmy.
Yeah, so, you know, I look at his career and I look at him as an individual who is despite the fact that, you know, he might have wanted it, he has operated without the need for that type of recognition. So for him to finally get it, it's just an acknowledgement of his excellence at this point. And also considering the movie that he got it for.
Yeah, Black Klansman, which was an excellent movie.
Yeah, like
Black Klansman.
This wasn't like, you know, like, yeah.
And those who are on HBO, it's going to be on HBO.
This wasn't.
Oh, and it will be on HBO soon per Jeremy. Have you seen it?
HBO now.
It's going to be HBO now.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Black Klansman, I will definitely watch 80 more times. I love that movie.
Yes.
It was
Yeah.
funny as hell, and it was my kind of, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
I threw the Black Power fist for those listening on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and every damn thing else. My kind of movie, Black Power fist. Go ahead, JB, where we at?
Well, let's move on to the next topic, New.
Well, the Green Book.
Oh yeah,
wins
Green Book,
Best
yeah.
Film.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I
Bullshit.
hate when the white academy or white people in America in general do the story where there was a YouTube clip going around about how white people do movies, how white people do black movies, and the premise of it is there's always that one black guy who faces a black person that faces all this adversity. And it's that one brave white person that stands up for them. You will not disrespect them today. You will not do this, and they come to save the day. And then the movie winds up being all about the white person and how they fought for the black people as opposed to the black person standing up. And it was a parody, of course. It was on, not Jimmy Fallon. What's the other guy's name? One of those late night guys.
Connor? No.
Whatever his name.
Jimmy Kimmel? Whatever
his
name is.
Was it Jimmy Kimmel? I think it's the other one. It's the whiter one. The whiter one.
Is he skinny or fat?
Shit, it was a skit on his show. He wasn't even. I don't think he was even in it. But anyway, I'll find
It's
it.
Connor.
He was a white guy. Because I was even surprised that he did it. Like, you did it? Oh shit, okay. But so the
might have been Stephen Colbert too.
Probably.
I know Stephen. I don't think it was him because I'm a fan of his, but it might have been. It was somebody. And they did the scripted movie where a white guy steps in and saves the day, and the black person deals with all this disrespect, and the white guy stands up and helps him. And that's what the Green Book is. It's a movie about a gay black man who, well, I guess I'll say it that way, who was a classical concert pianist or orchestra, whatever. Arguably the greatest musician ever in American history, according to what I've read. But they made the movie about his white driver and his struggles. And they think that's a black history movie. That's a movie about black people because you made a movie about the white driver and his struggles with dealing with this black man. And I'm like, you motherfuckers. And they give that the Academy Award for Movie of the Year because that's how white people need it to be. They need to be able to feel good about themselves. Look how we stood up for the black person in this movie. Look how we did this for that black person in that movie. We helped to change this country. No, motherfucker. No.
You know what's scary is that those are the liberal white folks. Those are the ones who are supposedly, technically, trying to work with us. That's the scary part. But that's how pervasive this shit is, and it's everywhere. I mean, we just got to get this president up out of here. We gotta start there so that the media will change, so that some of these directions will change. I just noticed this trend, when we have a more liberal, like certain things just happen from above, and we got a racist, bullshit ass, lying ass motherfucker in the White House from now, and it's permeating through our justice system, our media, everywhere, and I'm getting sick of it. It's time to make a change.
Absolutely, and something else I'm sick of is the barbecue Beckys and security guards who are calling the police on black people for non-infractions, non-crimes. And this one is the most egregious that I've heard in a while, and it's our what the fuck story of the day. A 12-year-old rapper, Lil C-Cup, excuse me, he said C-Cup. See, my mind was there. Lil C-No was 12 years old, was selling his CDs at the mall, which I have made a living doing. Yeah. I paid rent. I bought my girlfriend gifts. I stayed fresh and prospered off of selling CDs at the mall. And these motherfuckers called the police on 12-year-old and had him arrested. He's going to court for selling his mixtape. It's a little kid with a mixtape. Got to go to court. Now, I assume it's going to get thrown out. I cannot imagine that
what the charges are for this shit.
Just trying to be on the defensive side. Trying to get the hang of the story. Where was he selling his tapes?
In the mall. He's walking in the mall.
So, no associates or security had no problem with it.
Well, one of the security guards is the guy who called the police. Allegedly.
So he called the police.
That's the story.
Technically, he was soliciting. I mean, here's the thing about malls. Here's what you need to understand. Malls are technically private property. So technically, you are not allowed to solicit in the mall without their license, which is why when you walk through the mall, this motherfucker's walking up on you, trying to give you credit cards, trying to sell you shit. They have paid rent in the mall so they can do that. He was selling his CD, so technically he did not have the right to do that. Mm-hmm. However, the response for a 12-year-old child is not to have him arrested. You know what I'm saying?
So he just got arrested like right off the spot.
Security called the cops and they came and got him and locked him up. And the reason why they probably locked him up is they probably charged him with, something like trespassing, because it can really be that simple at that point, because he's trying to do business there without a permit. So it's something corny like that.
It's real
But it's
because
just
I
whack to do
I faced that.
Yes.
But shout out to the cops in DC, security in DC, and
Yeah,
they
they pull you aside and talk to you.
And then I guess but they
Yeah,
bought
that's what
my,
I was
they bought my
expecting. Hopefully
CDs.
they like pulled his ass to a side or
Right.
something.
And
I mean, they just like arrest his ass? That's
Yeah.
what happened?
But
That's why
I've had
this is
police.
fucked up.
I've had police buy my CDs.
That's why
I've
this is
had
fucked up.
I had a record, the Kid Mill Records, Woody Records. It changed names a couple times. But the owner in there at one point was complaining and trying to get the police to run me off the property, and they'd be like, "Just don't stand in front of the store."
This is something that's something that you're supposed to fucking do. That's what I'm trying to like be on the defensive side, like the law or something, but they just arrested us like right off the spot. Not
Yeah,
nothing,
and
like,
I don't think
not even to talk to them or like no fucking warning, like literally what they're supposed to fucking do.
Literally. But the thing is, he's in
And he's
court.
12, and he's 12 years old.
12. He's a child, a minor.
That doesn't make any
And it's in
fucking
court.
sense.
In court. And I can't imagine it getting into a court case. I can imagine it. We're gonna call your parents and tell them your son in your mixtape.
I would understand that. if
Court,
it was
though?
parents.
Court? I'm with you. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
but
tough.
I understand, like, yeah, he was like trespassing. There's no soliciting or anything other than that, like what JB has said. But that's just that's kind of like too
That's
fucking
OD.
far. That's
It's
too
OD.
fucking far.
You're putting a 12-year-old kid behind bars.
That's
You're putting a child.
a 12-year-old entrepreneur
Yeah.
ain't robbing, ain't stealing, ain't killing. He is writing songs and selling them to the public.
even if you don't even know what the fuck is going on, you could look at this fucking entrepreneur and see that he's like fucking trying something.
Yeah.
Like
Exactly.
you can like give him a heads up, like yo, you can't. I
Yeah,
understand
it's-
what you're trying to do, but you can't like quite do it here. So try to like move your business at another different kind of spot.
Honestly,
Right.
But
this is all bad. Like, this just could have gone so differently.
And you know what calling the police on a black person does anyway.
yes,
You already know.
The most recent one was this lady calling the police on these people because their dog was like humping.
I saw that at a dog, at a dog park.
Yeah,
The dog
the
tried to
fuck?
hump the other dog. He pulled the dog off, and she told him he had to leave. And he said, "No, I'm not leaving. I'll just keep my dog over here." And she called the police on him. And but the guy videotaped it all, or on his phone recorded it all. And I don't know if we call it Barbecue Becky, Dog Park Pamela. No, I don't know.
She will have a name soon.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. But it's ridiculous. And I do want one more shout out to the police and security in DC and Kid Mill and Willie Records, because what they eventually did is I was able to convince them to put my CDs in the record store. And if they put my CDs in the record store, I wouldn't sell them. I would send my customers into the store to buy them.
Yeah.
And so what I would do is I would play it outside with somebody. They're like, "Oh, I like it. I'm gonna get it. Get it out of the store." And that's how I started my sound scan and became, the Master P in DC. You know what I'm talking about? That's how that happened. But that's ridiculous. And that is our what the fuck story of the day.
Yeah. I mean,
12-year-old
it's
black
really,
boy
really
should not be in
stupid.
jail for selling mixtapes, doing
Really,
something illegal.
really
He's in
It's dumb.
jail.
Yeah.
That's fucking
I
stupid.
mean, we've been consistently talking about this
That's
trend of whiteification, and it's this type of bullshit that really, really gets frustrating. It shows that, like, I mean, white people, y'all grew up on hip hop. Where the fuck do you think, like, even the corny motherfuckers that you love, like MC Hammer, don't you realize that he started selling tapes out of his car? What are you doing? He might be the next whoever. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This little cat is starting when he's 12. Like, that
He's
is
the next
amazing.
goddamn FUBU kid, man.
Yeah.
Like,
Come on. Like you
on.
would record it and at least probably mix, maybe not mastered at that age, but you would record it and produce a mixtape to actually have it on a compact disc where you can actually give it to somebody at the age of 12. Come on, man. He needs to be saluted. Matter of fact, Lil C Note, I'm going to look for you on Apple Music or on Dat Piff. I hope to God you have some music up there.
Yeah.
So that I can stream
definitely
it.
somebody to be supported.
You got my couple dollars.
Yeah, man, that's real.
We should
That's
all
real.
support him.
That's real.
Moving on, JB. Let's see. We went through the Shut Up Stupid Award, the Rise to Shine Award. I'm Gangsta Geeking. Tell us about your trip. Well, I'll let you set it up. Talk to us, JB.
So, recently my job sent me to Dallas, Texas to meet with some folks out there and discuss some things that needed to happen so I could help them out. I wanted to talk about this because you've noticed throughout the show that there's been sort of this kind of thematic trend. This weird sort of separation that has happened between black and white America. And a lot of us who live in urban settings don't really understand that. Because even though the white people we encounter can be a little racist, can be a little out of touch, they are at least aware of the black existence and what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you that there are places, there are major metropolitan centers, there are big places in the United States where that is not true, America. And one of them is Dallas. I hated being there because it was one of those cities where you felt like there were situations where you were literally crossing the tracks. And it was black people, and it was urban, and it was grimy, and it was a little scary and fucked up. And then you cross over into Shangri-La, and everything is clean, and there are zero black people around. Zero. Everybody working in the convenience stores were Mexican. Like, that's how weird it was.
What's the population of black people there? I'm assuming it's mostly whites and then Mexicans and then black.
Well,
so close to
Mexicans, yeah, it's about 50 Mexican, about 35 white, and about 15 black. It's not a very black city. But that being said, Dallas does have it is an urban center. So it does have an urban core, a black
regardless, if you go to the affluent community, there should be some blacks there.
Exactly my point.
It's a big ass state, so.
Well, and you know, I'm thinking about when I lived in Boston. Again, one of the whiter cities in America. Boston is at around 12% in terms of black. I lived in an affluent area, Beverly, Massachusetts, just north of the city, right by the river, right by the ocean, beautiful, you know, again, Shangri-La. There was still black people around, you know? So to see this type of divide and to hear, to look at how, the prices changed to try and keep the black people out, you know, everything was a little too expensive, you know what I'm saying? To hear people talking about how, oh my God, you know, we know how fucked up it is in Dallas, but we're so glad we're out here. And I'm like, come on, y'all. What the fuck do you mean? There are places out there in America that are actually like this. And these are the places that have Donald Trump in office right now. And these are the places that want to believe the lies. So understand what we're really up against, because America is literally split in half right now. That's my.
That's it. So this had nothing to do with you being a Redskins fan and she brought all the shit up.
I actually had dinner in Jerryland. You know, I wanted to see the stadium. Frisco, Texas, which is where I was, is right by Jerryland. But again, it's one of those places that's across the tracks, my G. It was. Anyway,
The soundbar. I was sitting here while Jamie was talking like this. Watching the cold ass. I was like, what the fuck is she doing?
Is she asleep now?
Wow! She just getting relaxed.
Wow!
Okay, hold up. Okay. We have been throwing darts for a while.
Darts? We've been throwing axes.
Sorry, that's how tired I
You
am.
been throwing darts?
Axes?
Yeah, y'all
What
been
hours?
what is it? The
Because we
red throw
wouldn't
axe
get
thing?
up.
We had to give it a guinea pig trial to see how it was and everything.
This motherfucker apparently is a lot better than I thought he would with his Viking boots and all that. Oh my gosh. He threw two axes at the same time and got it so close to the dart center. I was like, I hate you.
Yeah, he's half German, so.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Fair.
Thank you.
That's fucking Thor.
Thank you.
So I'm struggling, and I'm tired.
Thank you.
And I ate like a big, huge Cornish
You been
hen
giving like
earlier.
pointers. We're like neighbors.
I want to do that damn Badass Storm too. I want to do that shit myself.
It's pretty decent.
We're
Based
going
on what we
this
had
week.
did, it's a decent
Oh,
spot.
yeah,
It's about 30, 25 minutes from your spot right here.
Okay.
It's something
I
that
so wanna
it's
do
something
that.
that we definitely can do.
But I'm sorry, I'm just getting comfortable because like there's no other place to do it. So.
We had a picture of mimosas before we got here, so.
That's
Sure.
another reason.
Yeah, the mimosas will do it.
Oh, yeah.
Brunch,
man.
brunch. That's great for brunch.
Man.
Let's get back to the show.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's go into eargasm.
Alright. Eargasm, your first listen. We listened to 2 Chainz, Solange, The Baby, a little bit of T-Pain, and don't forget that the Kickback TV playlist is available on Apple Music and Spotify. So if you want the latest updated music every week, download the playlist. I will update it weekly. It will update on your device weekly.
It's
Every
nice,
Friday
man.
you'll get new music based on what's out. And let's start with 2 Chainz.
Yeah, man. This is so now was
rapper goes to the lead.
now was Dre actually involved in this project? That
No,
came out?
no. Him and Dre worked on something that
Okay.
Dre is holding.
Okay.
So we'll see what that comes on. This was a project. It was A&R, quote unquote, by LeBron James. They did the little Apple movie thing where they had him and LeBron in the studio together. And 2 Chainz says that he's been playing songs for LeBron for the last year. The first album he sent LeBron. This album is completely different because he might have gone on this conscious path.
Ron's
He's
becoming
been
more
conscious.
vocal with his shit too.
Yeah.
Becoming a lot more vocal
Yeah.
this year.
We gotta talk about his show, The Shop, with the aired Friday night. But 2 Chainz' new album is a departure from your normal turn up 2 Chainz music.
Yes.
He always
yes.
has some conscious music, some good content on the album,
Right.
but they're usually in the minority.
This one was all
The-
conscious.
Yeah, it was all conscious.
Yeah, I mean the one that might turn into a banger is I'm Rare. That John has a little bump to
With
it.
Weezy and E40. That's
That was
my
actually
favorite
my favorite track on the John. Actually, Weezy's verse is crazy. Like
I did not know that Weezy was on there.
yeah,
Oh, yeah.
I am missing a lot.
The alliteration, the punchlines, the metaphors, the references were amazing. E40 killed it on the jump too. So that was just that was my favorite track on the jump. Really love. I mean, it's kind of like a mellow type of jump. Like it's a sit down on the couch or cook dinner and
Right,
kind of
right.
listen to.
That's
type
very
of
good to
jump.
know, especially these days that's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not the turn up club jump, but I'm a 2 Chainz fan. I think we all are, and I really like the album.
Summer's coming up, so it sounds like some type of shit.
Oh, he got a summer banger. He got a joint with what's the girl's name? Ariana Grande.
Yeah.
That's a
listen
really
to that
good
jump.
sample of an Ava Marie track.
I'm sensing some pool party music.
Oh yeah. There's definitely a couple pool party tracks on there, definitely. But it's thought provoking, and I like it.
Yeah, I dug it
I
too.
like his direction. I like the thoughtfulness of the music. He talks about death with family members. He talks about relationships. He talks about the athletes in the
how hard it
NCAA.
was growing up too.
Yeah,
Like,
well, yeah, you want to get that with 2 Chainz every album. But the NCAA, a lot of athletes aren't getting paid. I mean,
Yeah.
he talks about taxes. He got a
Yeah.
whole song
Yeah.
about paying taxes.
yeah, oh yeah.
That's one of my favorite songs on the album. My favorite is probably I'm Not Crazy, My Life Is, with him, Chance the Rapper, and Kodak Black. And it's just one of those songs where you like, nigga, this is how I think. This is what I was doing. They were like, fuck, you know what I'm saying? I ain't crazy, life is, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Really like that track. The joint with A. Marie, We Can Rule the World, I really like that one. And there's a couple tracks in there. Threat. Well, I like Threat. Yeah,
Oh,
I
yeah,
actually,
that was a good one.
yeah, I actually quoted Threat for the show tonight. I'm not getting the credit I deserve. I don't know if y'all can hear every word. Like, and that's how I feel. Like, we should be the #1 podcast in America. I don't know if y'all can hear every word, but we're not getting the credit we deserve. Like, come on now. So, definitely love 2 Chainz project. I don't want to rate it yet, but if I had to rate it, I would give it 4 out of 5.
Definitely gonna listen to it.
Yes.
I held my ass off because usually you hold your ass off based on like the hype, and you listen to or watch some shit, and the hype that you hear about just doesn't cut it.
Yeah.
Based on what I just heard just now, my time will definitely be worth it. Listen
Yeah,
to
hell
it.
yeah. So now, thank you, Kickback.
It's a good listen for sure.
Now, going to a project where the hype may not be worth it, and I say may not because I don't want to shit on this artist.
Yeah.
So I'm saying may not. Solange, Soul Sister Solange.
Yeah.
I found tracks that I liked a lot,
Yeah.
and I overall enjoy the vibe. It just doesn't compel me to want to listen. It's kind of how like the Knock Against J. Cole used to be. Like great lyricists, great album, kind of boring. Solange's new album's kind of boring.
Yeah, it's gonna take a better DJ for me to mix what I heard into a playlist that really speaks to me. You know, I'm sure there were some decent songs in there. I just kind of got lulled to sleep by what I heard initially, and she never woke me up. Yeah, that's probably the best way to kind of break it down. Like I said, you know, I think we'll hear bits and pieces of that album that'll make it better for us. You know, within the context of a mix or within the context of, I don't know, we'll put together a playlist or something that we'll find it.
Well, we have the Kickback TV playlist.
Well,
we have
yeah,
Solange mixed in.
you know, maybe I need to listen to a couple of those songs in the context of a shuffle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then
The Kickback TV playlist. That'll be it.
Right, and maybe some of those tracks to speak to me. But right now, like you said, it's just, you know.
So it doesn't
Like I
sound like
said
it's
that-
like a.
Set up the playlist.
Doesn't sound like
What you saying, Jeremy?
It said it doesn't sound like it's a go-to song. Like if you will play Pandora and the song will like come up, you'll question about like, all right, I can deal with this.
Yeah, hey, there are some good songs on it. Like I found 2 or 3 songs that I really like.
Okay.
And I added them to the playlist. But they might oversell the album. If you hear the playlist and hear those songs, you be like, shit, I'm about to get that album. When you get it, you might not be quite as happy. But I don't want to knock it. I just want to say that, like, what I decided to do, because I couldn't get into it, it's decent. It's decent.
Okay.
Like, I would give it 3 out of 5. But I got it cleaned up today and put on that playlist to clean up to, or that the playlist, that album, Solange's album. And I was just like, it's cool. It's cool.
That's good.
I really wanted it to be amazing, best album I ever heard. Oh my God, that's what I wanted. But I got 3 out of 5.
Right,
Decent.
right. That's
All
about
right.
that's about what I got today. I was running errands and threw it on in the car. I was like,
Perfect.
okay,
That's a perfect way to put it.
You know, it was a short ride,
That's
so
a perfect way to
it's
put it.
fine.
But I'm gonna tell you, also, it's a lot of good rap music out right now. So I'm
Yeah.
not really in my chill bag.
Yeah.
Maybe if I was more in my laid back, jazzy, chill bag, it would work. But the baby got a new project out out of Charlotte, North Carolina. And I become a fan of his music. I got hip to him on the Joe Budden podcast.
Yeah, is that on the playlist too?
That's what everything. Kickback TV playlist, Spotify, Apple Music. But he's a lyricist. He's a lyrical rapper from the South. He talk that gangster shit. I like it because he got some lyrics. Also on the playlist you can find T-Pain's title track from his album. His new album dropped this weekend, and the title track bang. It made it to the playlist. We got some Gunna on there. We got some Lil Baby on there. Got some Yo Gotti on there. Got some St. John, who Biggs Burke, formerly in Rockefeller Records, just
This
signed
is
to
all
manage.
T-Pain.
Oh yeah, the T-Pain song is just him and dude named De Niro. But on the playlist that Kickback TV made, got all of this shit on there.
Okay.
So this is the Kickback TV playlist.
Oh, yeah.
And then you can follow the album.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just dip on out.
Yeah, throw that joint on when you hop in the car, you be good to go.
Or at work.
Hell yeah.
Anyway.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. If you're at work, if you're at church, if you're having sex with your girl, doing Bible study, if you're watching a movie, just put the playlist on.
Doing dishes?
Doing dishes, put the playlist on. So if you break your ankle, put the playlist on.
Sometimes sometimes America, the world, like, yeah, it happens. Let's keep it moving.
What else we got?
The special coming out, and we're getting some more evidence, some more commentary out of Michael Jackson's.
Yeah, Netflix and chill segment.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, we're gonna go with the shop.
Mm-hmm.
With LeBron James, 2 Chainz, Jamie Foxx, Gerard Carmichael, Antonio Brown. On our Netflix and chill segment, it comes on HBO Friday nights, and they had everybody on there. They talked about 2 Chainz's album. They talked about AB and his issues with the Steelers. How he's not going back. And how Big Ben is, he acts like he's the owner of the team. And he said one segment was funny. He was like, Big Ben was like, throw me under the bus every time. Like, yeah, AB needs to run a better route. He's like, nigga, you threw the ball to a defensive lineman.
Yeah.
You need to throw a better ball. How can I run a better route? I'm behind the defensive line.
Oh, with Antonio Brown and
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That shit was ridiculous.
If you guys, LeBron James' show, it's like in a barbershop setting. So
Right.
it's a bunch of fellas sitting around
Right.
talking.
Right.
But it's kind of like this show. Like, and
Right.
they go through a lot of different issues.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it. They talked about 2 Chainz's album, which we've already done.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie Foxx talked about how his generation, him and Puffy, they just kind of ran through the game, didn't really encounter any racism, just got rich and happy, and how all this bullshit happened now. Like he said, I was on Facebook watching videos like, oh my God, they're shooting black people. He was like, I didn't even know, nigga. I'm in my Hollywood house, living my rich life, and I come on Instagram and see a video of a black woman getting killed, and I'm like, what the fuck? They're killing black people. Like, we gotta do something. And he was like, we were so rich and so insulated, and nothing was going on when they got rich, except Rodney King. So everything was just kind of blocked. And then he said now that he's 50 years old and he's looking at this shit like, yo, we gotta do something. And our generation dropped the ball. We let this shit happen. And I thought that was gangster that he said that about his generation. And he applauded the younger people like LeBron that stands up, Kaepernick that stands up or takes a knee. And he was like, we love y'all because we dropped the ball a little bit, but y'all picked it up. And we following y'all lead now.
Yeah. Where those people dropped the ball is they didn't realize what was really happening when people like George W. Bush and them got into office. Mm-hmm. Like they didn't realize the real danger that was going on. It got crazy out here after Clinton, after Clinton left, and it's gotten worse. And I like you said, I respect him saying that because it's real. That's what happened.
Yeah, man. Great show. You can catch it on HBO, HBO Now, HBO Go, or if you watch it live on Friday nights. But it was good, so I definitely recommend that. And there's another show that I don't know what to say, man. What JB alluded to earlier, the Michael Jackson documentary, JB.
Yeah.
Leaving Neverland.
Which is also on HBO.
Oh yeah, also on HBO.
Leaving Neverland. This thing is going to shake up the world, and it's already starting to do so.
Yeah.
What we've got now is two of the young boys who were featured in the Leaving Neverland documentary are now speaking out, basically validating what was asserted in the documentary. So it's getting worse. It's going to get worse. Your comments?
They said that Michael groomed them before sex.
Mm-hmm.
The grooming part wasn't alarming to me. It was weird, but before sex, that part was really fucking alarming. You know what I'm saying? They didn't say he groomed us before we watched the movie. Like, that's the headline. That's the story. Before we had sexual activities, we were properly groomed. So that means you had fucking sexual activities. I don't know what to think because these guys said it wasn't true, parents said they lied, and they came out and said it wasn't true, and then died, and then came back. And now, 30, 20 years later, are saying, no, this is what really happened. I don't fucking know what the truth is. I know that nothing, it's like the Jussie Smollett thing. Shit ain't seem right with Mike. I couldn't prove it.
Never.
But I knew that shit ain't seem right with him.
Never.
And like even with the Justice Smollett thing, as soon as to go through due process, but we kind of got an idea of what happened. He faked it. And with this, I kind of have an idea of what happened. Mike did it. But this documentary isn't necessarily proving it to me. Because it's been so much back and forth, so much lies, so much bullshit. I don't know what to think, but I believe we'll all be glued to our TVs when this shit comes out.
Yeah.
It comes out actually today at 8 p.m. on HBO.
Really?
And the second part is tomorrow night, Monday night.
Really?
Yes.
Well,
We watching that shit tonight.
On HBO.
Oh shit.
yeah, that's real.
Damn, let's end this podcast so you can watch it.
If I haven't read it right, it is great.
Damn. Well, yeah, we'll watch it and we'll make our decision after that.
Yeah. Stay tuned. Next week we'll definitely break it down.
Hell yeah. On to something lighter. Let's get back into fun mode. I'm feeling good. I stood up on my own, you know what I'm saying? I'm getting a little bit more mobile. You know what I'm saying? I left the house with crutches instead of a scooter. So I'm feeling good right now. So let's switch gears and let's talk about sports, JB. JB's childhood friend LeBron James has been, because you grew up in Boston.
He grew up in. Oh,
It made no sense.
He grew up in Akron. Yeah, like what are you talking about?
But I said, man,
Shout
no
out to
sense.
Akron, by the way. I know some folk in Akron. I fucking
See, that's what I'm saying. Like LeBron.
They
See?
from Twinsburg, Ohio.
Like
Yeah,
LeBron.
I fuck with the Cleveland area.
See, I was actually right.
I don't know
did
shit
grow
about
with LeBron
LeBron
James.
or his people.
Because JB named James and LeBron James' name is James.
Really.
Boom. Boom!
Break down. Fuck this story. The Lakers, nigga. Jesus.
Oh man, JB's buddy LeBron, his team is struggling. It doesn't look like they're gonna make the playoffs. Now, I want to say this: they were the 4th seed, and surprisingly, every moment he was healthy. He got injured, missed 18 games, came back, and was in 10th place, 2 games out of the playoffs. And then they had the whole trade controversy with AD.
Right.
And they have just not been able to get it back. And the other night, they lost to the worst team in the NBA, the Phoenix Suns. And that was like a whoa. We losing to them. Then we don't stand a fucking chance. And I believe whatever me. And oh yeah, let me get me voice.
Yeah, JB, you go out with LeBron, and then LeBron and he ain't doing good at LA because you like Boston.
So
That's some shit here for the first time.
I'm just saying. So they're not going to make the playoffs. It doesn't look like. I want to root for them. I don't want to say LeBron not going to make it, but it does not look good. Sacramento, the Clippers, the other teams are doing better.
Yeah.
And
What's
it just doesn't
Houston
look
looking like these days?
Houston has climbed. They've done okay. Houston has made it up to they're like the 4th seed now.
Mm-hmm.
And that's behind James Harden's Herculean effort because Chris Paul was injured. Clint Capella was injured, and that's when James Harden went on that like 33 games straight with 30 points. Only second to Kareem in most 30-point games. Jordan never did it. Kobe never did it. Jeremy never did it. It was just Kareem. It was just he tried.
I tried.
It was just Wilt and James Harden. That's it. So Houston's doing well. Needless to say, they're actually playing tonight. Also on sports, we had DK Metcalf, my little brother. Wide receiver. This man was like 6'4", cut the fuck up, ran a 4.33 in the combine, bench press some ridiculous amount of weight 27 times in a row.
Like 230?
Yeah, something like that.
They do a standard 220 at the combine, and it's about how many times you can push it up.
Oh, he got 27, so everybody was like, oh my gosh.
For a wide receiver, that's amazing. Yeah,
Damn.
like they have the whole schedule based on your position, and what they're saying is with 27, he's one of the stronger wide receivers. He's going to be one of Like he's gonna be on that like
Like he was
Megatron
benching like he was a
type of-
defensive lineman.
Yeah.
He's on that like Megatron, like with
T.O. Megatron T.O.
Yeah, that's it.
But this guy
exactly
on a
what I'm saying.
4-3-3. I don't think Megatron was T.O. man that fast.
Mm.
I mean, y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. I don't think either one of them were that fast.
That's pretty fucking fast, but there's a cat in Kansas City who's running.
Well, we talking about big, strong niggas.
Okay,
We ain't
that's
talking
That's
about
like
That's
low
fair.
amounts
he
of
get
power.
respect.
Okay,
I'm
I
talking
was
about
like,
big,
what
strong
is-
niggas that can bench 27 pounds, 220 pounds.
20,
Them niggas don't run 4-3-3.
Oh yeah, he's a monster.
That's my point.
In that regard.
I'm going on the line and saying
And
I would draft him
and
first.
his vertical too.
And it's vertical. That man would jump so high, he touched the sky. Up to the
Jesus.
sky.
If he pulls through, he's gonna be a dangerous.
I mean,
man.
we'll see what happens,
Yeah,
because
exactly.
if he, I mean, they gonna put him in a spot where he can go up and get it, and
Would you draft him first, considering the other options? I
I
would draft him first.
There's not a whole lot. I mean, there are a
Is there
couple
ever been a
of-
receiver that's been drafted first?
Yeah, there have been a couple. I don't
Really?
remember. Yeah, I don't remember exactly who, but yeah, there.
Why don't we remember who?
There was
That's the crazy part.
there was a dude that came out of Clemson. Well, not number one.
Yeah,
No.
I mean number one.
No, not number one. Definitely not. No, there have been people.
I would
that
draft
top
this man
four.
with number one. You got Dwayne Haskins at quarterback, and you got Kyler Murray at quarterback.
Yeah.
I would draft this monster at number one over those quarterbacks and over those linemen that I've seen.
Yeah,
I
there
just
is.
would.
And
he's,
there-
he's qualified for it.
There
Yeah,
are plenty
yeah.
of good quarterbacks in the league right now, but a
A
monster
wide receiver
wide
like that,
change the game.
yeah, like who gonna tackle him?
He is faster than Brandon Cooks. He is, what is it, his vertical is better than Julio Jones. He is a monster. And I forgot he like outdid like his reps by some defensive player I forgot. But he's a monster all around.
Man,
What?
man,
What? They gonna put that motherfucker in the slot and have him.
What
and have him
college
shivering
did he come
and
from?
go-
Ole Miss.
They gonna have. They gonna
They
have.
trained him right. They trained him right.
They gonna
They
have.
fed him right.
That too.
Yeah. He gonna open up somebody's offense like whoa, because that's like Jimmy
Who
Graham.
are the science teams? Who's at the top spot? Arizona got the number one pick. The Giants are up there. The Jaguars are up there.
Raiders.
Raiders are up there.
Mm-hmm.
But Redskins, you know your team, sorry, JB.
Nah,
Redskins probably up there.
Nah, we're in the team. Shut the fuck up.
Buffalo. I hope he goes to a team with a quarterback with an arm. I hope he has a QB. Oh, and breaking news: Nick Foles is set to sign with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Interesting.
Really?
Interesting.
Wow.
They're up there. They might get him.
They got
Wow.
they got a running back too, and
Yeah.
a pretty decent defense if they can get their shit together. They
yeah,
kind of flubbed it
yeah,
last year.
yes.
For next
If they can get their
Jacksonville?
if their
Yeah.
defense spent less time on the field,
Interesting.
then they could do something. That's
very
real.
interesting.
So
Okay.
we'll see how that plays out.
Okay.
Exactly. I want to see where he goes. I'm going to follow this young man's career. I'm gonna watch
I'll
it.
take him on Kansas.
Y'all won't get him. Y'all record too good. But what if he slips? What if people don't feel this way and he drops at top 10 or top 20?
He'll pick up.
Man.
If a good team picks him up, then that would be
Good team and good quarterback.
If somebody like the Eagles got him, you know.
The Eagles are rumored to be trying to get Antonio Brown, which I don't want.
Well, that's why, because that's the piece they're missing is.
Well, they got good receivers.
They have good receivers, but they don't. I think. Well, don't they have a good tight end too?
They got a great tight end.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Their tight end, the one that motherfucker Carson Wentz always go to.
Raiders.
Zach Ertz. The
Zach Ertz.
Eagles.
Yes.
Eagles.
Zach
Yeah,
Ertz.
Ertz.
Yeah, Ertz. And they got their receivers are top notch. They got that one receiver that left. They got Golden Tate and another and Alshon Jeffrey. They stacked their receiver. I mean, they could use them, but they stacked.
Nelson, I think that's
Aguilar Nelson.
Yeah, I think he's still with
They got a receiving core.
Now,
the Eagles,
I think their main also their concern is the running back.
yeah, that's why
They've been fluctuating quite a bit with like 3 running backs on the team.
Yeah,
That is true.
Sproles and everybody. Sproles fucking around retired.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where he goes, man.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to that. And now that Cap got his money, we're all watching NFL guilt free. So yeah, it's gonna be an interesting season coming up.
Absolutely.
Want to thank y'all for tuning in. If you watched it live on Facebook, thank you, appreciate you. Thank you for being part of the show with your comments. If you're watching on YouTube, you can make comments on YouTube. You can do it. I'll read them. Okay, I won't read them. JB will read them.
Yeah.
If somebody will read them.
I will read them.
Damn right.
On YouTube, y'all. Yeah. Check us out on Spotify. Check us out on Apple TV with the podcast, man. The audio is kicking. We're just as funny, even though you can't see our pretty faces.
True. Very true.
Good night, and God
YouTube
bless
and the ads,
everyone.
man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Help us get this ad money up. They've been paying us. They
Damn
need to
right.
pay us more.
Damn
So help us
right.
get this ad money up.
There it is.
Thank you for tuning in. We'll be here next week. Every Sunday we record live Sunday night. It drops Monday mornings on all your favorite podcast sites, including YouTube. This is Kickback TV, live from Atlanta. And I'm new. That's JB. And
Good night and God bless.
Uno. We out. For all the people listening, we out. We're winding down and shit. That about it. I ain't saying enough this time.
Yeah.
Cause I ain't want to break my damn ankle. I almost failed, Jeremy. Almost failed just now.
No.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, oh shit. JB ain't even try to save me.
Nope.
Man, we should hell pick up on this disc golf we've been missing.
Right, we do. And this is how I see the show. So I comment to y'all on the iPad. We got the topics right here on the laptop. Thank you for tuning in to Kickback TV. We out of here.